Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi had long said in the context of the Russia-Ukraine conflict that this is not an era of war. And today, after having endured the crippling geopolitical and economic fallouts of the fight, the world, especially many NATO countries, have become increasingly cognizant of the fact that Prime Minister Modi was spot on in his analysis of the situation.
यूक्रेन के घटनाक्रम के शुरुआत से ही भारत ने डायलॉग और डिप्लोमेसी के माध्यम से इस विवाद को सुलझाने पर जोर दिया है। भारत किसी भी शांति प्रक्रिया में योगदान देने के लिए तैयार है।
The Russia-Ukraine conflict has caused more destruction than can ever be quantified, and has so far resulted in a staggering loss of human lives, which has shaken the world's conscience. With the war seemingly heading a dead end, it is in the interest of all to refrain from creating rifts and participate in the process of procuring peace and prosperity for all. Join us as we take a closer look at India's efforts at securing peace and harmony, and how it is the only country that stands a chance of resolving the Russia-Ukraine conflict. A lingering question that demands attention and answers is whether countries around the world are making enough of a coordinated and concerted effort to ensure the cessation of violence between Russia and Ukraine. With no ray of hope yet in sight, the rebuilding of damages accrued to date will easily exceed the $1 trillion mark. The world's leaders, however, need to be objective in their approach to the issue. Even if the war stopped today, Ukraine would require financial assistance of at least anywhere between $15 billion and $20 billion just to make a fresh start. This figure will continue to rise with each passing day of war. Thousands have died in Ukraine, and the incessant bombardment of attacks have caused hundreds of thousands of others to flee their homes. Ukraine's average fall in real GDP was around 32%. While inflation was hovering around 27% in 2022, a vivid reflection of where the country is headed. On the other side, Russia, which has dominated some aspects of the war despite the West's both covert and overt support for Ukraine, is experiencing negative trends in its economic indicators as well. Economic sanctions on Russia by many countries have squeezed the Russian market. The output of Russia's medium and high-tech industries has contracted sharply. The list of losses suffered by both sides in the conflict is staggering, and given the current circumstances, things are only going to get worse.
Thousands of soldiers on both sides have died. 7-8 million people have become refugees, which is a very major loss. So the loss goes into billions and billions of dollars on both sides. But the worst thing is that this war has created new areas of problem. And those problems are which are affecting the whole world.
The question which arises at this point is why, barring a few exceptions, has nobody made any meaningful attempts to end the bloody war? Politics for power and not politics for people has ruled the discourse till date. Securing different types of competitive advantages has been one of the most despicable aspects of the war. It is this type of approach which has kept peace at bay.
The weaponization of financial instruments, weaponization of energy, weaponization of food, weaponization of fertilizers, which is something that has never happened before. And that is taking its toll over the rest of the world. And most importantly, the biggest loss and the biggest impact of this war is indirect, and that is on the global south. So when we are counting the costs, you have to count the global costs of this war.
Prime Minister Modi, one of the world's most popular and trusted leaders, has urged both countries to cease their campaigns on numerous occasions. Recently, while addressing a press conference with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, Prime Minister Modi reiterated his stance and said that India was ready to play every possible role to restore peace in the region.
यूक्रेन के घटनाक्रम के शुरुआत से ही भारत ने डायलॉग और डिप्लोमेसी के माध्यम से इस विवाद को सुलझाने पर जोर दिया है। भारत किसी भी शांति प्रक्रिया में योगदान देने के लिए तैयार है।
Modi's India is one of the few countries that has remained neutral and has maintained respectful relations with both sides in the conflict. Many have already said that the United Nations must take Indian help to deal with the war. Rightly so, as India is the only country that has earned the trust of all. While the G20's area of focus has been the global economy, a real solution to the Russia-Ukraine conflict is being anticipated from the group, as India is presiding over the chair this year. As the war wages on, more countries continue to adopt India's strategy, one which is people and peace-centered. The Indian position for dialogue and diplomacy, which was initially critiqued, now stands vindicated. With the economy successfully rebounding from the pandemic and its after effects, Indian consumers have hit the markets. From clothing to accessories, food to beverage, premium is the dominant word on the retail horizon. And both e-commerce and traditional retail players are vying for a piece of the pie. India is now the world's 5th largest destination for retail. The growth of the industry is driven by increased consumer demands, disposable income, efficient logistics, and advanced technology. Modern retailing has entered the retail market in India in the form of shopping centers, multiplex malls, and complex buildings that provide shopping, dining, and entertainment under one roof. Indian consumer purchasing power is on the rise, and retail sales in Indian malls are expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 29% from 2022 to 2028, to top $39 billion USD by financial year 2028. Increased footfall led to space expansion in India by domestic and international retailers, resulting in a 5% increase in leasing activity to 2.43 million square feet in July to December of 2022.
Many of them don't necessarily come every time to the store to buy the material. We have an app, we do a delivery, they can see the quantities, they can see the prices, they can track their orders, so we try and service them. So that portion is completely driven by e-commerce or online.
India's retail sector is set to experience a boom due to an unprecedented increase in domestic product consumption. The industry is on track to grow at a rate of 9% over 2019 to 2030, from $779 billion USD in 2019 to $1,407 billion USD by 2026. The industry is expected to cross $1.8 trillion USD by 2030. E-commerce has also gained significant traction in recent years. E-commerce has reduced the upfront cost of traditional stores, provided access to a larger clientele base, and has given wider space for visual merchandising through online publishing. The government's initiative, Government E-Marketplace, GEM, has fulfilled 12.28 million orders worth $40.97 billion USD from 5.44 million recorded sellers and service providers.
GEM started in 2016. Initially, there were some, hiccups, but it came out very, very well. And people have definitely helped a lot. It's really, really streamlined the entire system for buying and selling for government. It's become more transparency.
India's retail sector is experiencing increasingly larger investments as well, with $4.11 billion USD in foreign direct investment between April of 2000 to June of 2022. Recent large investments include Google expanding its cloud infrastructure in India, taking a 3.81 lakh square foot data center on lease in Mumbai, Flipkart opening a logistics arm for other e-commerce firms, and Keystone Realtors signing agreements to jointly develop a 1.5-acre plot in Mumbai's Mahim. The Indian retail industry has the potential to generate a huge number of jobs. As per a recent NASSCOM report, Indian retail will add more than 25 million jobs by financial year 2030. With many milestones already achieved, and with many more in the near horizon, India looks forward to becoming the global retail hub, further propelling Brand India.